So you've seen 4.1. Now probably the next question is, how do I get it? So what I want to do is introduce Renee Huber, who is one of our support engineers that works in the Customer Interaction Center. They would be the first line of people that you would speak to when you call the Customer Interaction Center. I wanted him to show you what a typical workflow looks like when looking for keys or getting a download of the actual product. Renee has been with SAP since June of 2010. And with that, Renee, if you are ready, I will pass it over to you.
Thank you very much, Sean, and thank you, Ted and then Colin. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. Hello, everybody. I would like to give you a short introduction here to the main areas of the SAP support portal to get you started with your SAP software. I'm assuming that a lot of you already have been to the service marketplace before in the support portal, but for those of you who have not, the website address is www.service.sap.com. I'll show you exactly what that will look like. So this is how you get to the SAP Service Marketplace. Now, the main topic we'll talk about here will be the SAP Support Portal, but I will take a second and just to point out a couple of other portals which are also listed on the site, and I think they're quite important. So if you ever have time, a little bit, I really encourage you to also check out the other portals which are still listed here. The other portals you can actually access without any credentials, so anybody can go to that site and read the information. So the first one would be the SAP Help Portal here. I'll try to highlight this. And that one contains all the documentations for all the SAP products. So this is a one location for all the documentation. If you're looking for business objects, you find all the different business objects versions there. User guides, installations guides, anything like that will also be on the SAP Help Portal. There's another one here. This is the SAP Partner Edge, and this is actually only for partners. So this is also requiring credentials to log on. But as I said, that's only limited to partners. There are two more here on the bottom. The one is called the SAP Community Network. Abbreviation here is SCN, and that's an excellent site. That's actually used by people who have support agreement with SAPs, but it's also used by people who do not have agreements with SAP but use SAP products, and it's also used by people actually who do not have any SAP product use at all but are interested in SAP. And that site actually has a couple of things. It has a very large forum, so you can just go on there. You can post your own questions if you have anything you would like to ask. It's monitored by other users and also, experts from SAP. They will also step in and they will try to help you out with your questions. It also has blogs and wikis, so it's a very, very good site. As I said, if you have time, maybe just have a click and just look at the site, and I'm sure you find some really, really good information there. The last thing here is pretty self-explanatory, is the SAP Training Certification Shop, and that's anything related to training, offline courses, online courses, anything. If you're interested in that, there's a separate portal for that also. Now let's get back to the main part here, the SAP Support Portal. Now, I mentioned it before, for the SAP Support Portal, it's one of those portals you do need log-on credentials, and you log in with S-User ID. I'm guessing quite a few already have that S-User ID. If you do not have it yet, you can register for your own S-User ID via the link up here, so that you can see the register. It will ask you a couple of questions, your customer number or your installation number, will ask you for email address and so on and so forth. And then one of the S-User IDs will be created for you and will be sent to your email address. Once you have the S-User ID, we'll log on here to the SAP Support Portal. So all you have to do is click, and for you it will ask you for the S-User ID and password. Once you put that in, you will get this screen. So this is now where we are in the SAP Support Portal. It will look exactly like this. It will say welcome, and then it will give you your name. And then on the top here, you will have the main tabs for help and support, software downloads, keys and requests, and so forth. And there are also a couple of subcategories that are going to be on the left-hand side, depending on what option you click. Now today we only talk about the three main things here for you. Would be the software download, just to get your software. Of course, you need your software in the first place. The second part here will be about keys and requests, and that will show you how to receive your license key to activate your software. And the last option we'll show here will be help and support, and that will explain how to get technical support. If you have any technical questions or you have problems, anything like that, and that will be done by help and support. But let's start with the software downloads to actually get your software. So all you have to do, click on it, and you will, as I said, a couple of sub-options here on the left-hand side. The main two options are support packages and patches, and installation and upgrades. So installation and upgrades are the main software or the main upgrades to the main software itself. The support packages and patches are, you're probably aware of that, enhancement packages, support packages, anything that goes on top of your main software. The easiest way to find your software here, if you click on the installation and upgrades, I always recommend just to go with the first option. And the first option here says My Company's Application Components. There are a couple other ways to find your software also. There's an A to Z index or browser or download catalog. But what that does, it will give you access to all the software SAP has. And SAP has thousands of different products. Now, you're only licensed for a few of them. So even though the A to Z index and the other one shows you all the software, you might not be able to do anything because you're not licensed for it. What the My Company's Application Component does, it only shows you software that is relevant for you. That is the software that you actually have a license for. So once you click on it, you get two options. One is the complementary software. This is software you can just download. You don't need any special approval for this, no licenses or anything required. You can download that software. And the one you're looking really for, in most cases, is under My Company software. And here you will find the software you are actually licensed for. So it is quite a few software here. This is because this is a demo account from SAP, and they're kind of licensed for all their software. So the ones you're looking for, if you're looking for the business objects one, is called SBOP BI platform, and they put in parentheses here enterprise because it used to be called business objects enterprise. So that's why they named it that way. All you have to do then click on it, and you will receive here the 3 different versions that you can download currently. So in the top is the oldest version, that's the XI 3.1 version, then you have the 4.0 version, and now the newest one is the 4.1 version. So I'm assuming, it's always recommended to go with the newest version if you can, because for compatibility issues and things like that. So let's assume you are looking to download the newest version. You just click on it. It gives you here an info page, a couple more information here. I see here what's new in BI 4.0, BI 4.0 upgrade resources. So it gives you a couple links. It gives you a couple of components for the customer messages, which I will show you in a little bit, SAP notes. So it's sometimes good, just maybe to look through that here too. Once you have all the information, all you click is on installation and upgrades. It will show you then different operating systems. Let's go, like with Windows in this case, you click on Windows, and that will give you all the different downloads. So I'm assuming you probably look for the server version here for 64 bits, so it's file 104, 204, 304, 404. All you have to do then just click here where it says download objects, and then it should, after you give that approval, it should ask you, like it is for me, save it. Like I can save it on my desktop, or I can say, I have a download folder, and I can save the file, and that's pretty much all you have to do. So this is for the main software. It works exactly the same for the support packages and upgrades. So you have again My Company's Application Components. You click on it, you will get the complementary software and My Company's software, and then you can just go down to the business object software, and it will give you all the support package and enhancement packs and things like that, and you can download it at exactly the same way. So this is pretty much all you have to do for the downloads. The next option I want to show you here is for the keys and requests. Once you have downloaded your software, you need to request a license key. So when you try to install the software, it will ask you, can you please enter your license key to activate your software? The license keys you can get via the keys and requests options. When you click on it, you will receive a window like this. And here on the bottom, you have the option to either search for an installation, or you can select from a list. I'm assuming that most of you might only have a few installations, so the easiest way probably is just to select from a list. So if you click on select from a list, this is the SAP version. There are a couple of installation numbers here, so there are quite a few because we have different software. For you, it might then be only Business Objects Enterprise, and you can just go from this step. So you can also see the step 1 through 5 here. So right now we are at step 1, so it tells you exactly where you are in the process of requesting the license key. So in this case here, I will click on the Business Objects software, the installation, and I will get to step 2. And this is where either I select a system that already exists, but for this demonstration I will show you to actually create a completely new system. So if you want to create a new system, all you have to do is click on the button here that says New System, and you will get to step number 3. This is where we are now. The first thing you need to do is to put in a code, a system ID. That's kind of a three letter or like a letter with combination of a number, but something that identifies your system ID. It can only be 3 letters for this case. So normally what people do if they have a production system, they call it PRD for production, or sometimes they have a test system, they call it TST, but it's completely up to you. I would use PRD, but somebody already used this and stole this from me, so that already exists. So I call this PR9 for like production system 9. And you click on continue. Then system name, you can give it anything you want, anything that's easily identifiable, if later on somebody looks at that and says, yeah, that makes sense, this is for the system. So here you're also not restricted to 3 letters. You can do, like a longer phrase, whatever is easy to identify. For this demonstration, I just call it PR9, but as I said, you can put in, if you want, you can put more letters, so it's not limited to 3. Then it also wants you to put in what kind of system it is. It's either development system, production system, test system. It's completely up to you. We'll do a production system in this case. Next thing, they want you to identify what product it is. So if we are looking for the Business Objects Enterprise, it would be here Business Objects Business Intelligence Platform, like that. Database, in this case, there's nothing to select, so we can just leave it as it is. And it's also asking here for the operating system. So for now, I'll just leave it at Windows. But if you have a different operating system, you can just choose whatever you need here. Once you filled out all that information, you just click on Continue, and you get to the next step, step 4. Oh, the product version I forgot. So this would be, let's say, we download the newest version. That would be the version 4.1. Now it should let me go to the next step. Okay, and this is actually where you request on step 4, where you put in the product data, where you actually request the license key. So the license material here is, there might be different options for you. As I said, that's a demo for SAP. But if you look for a Business Objects Enterprise, it should say this under SAP Business Objects Enterprise Professional, and then it should user licenses, depending on what license you have. It should tell you in parentheses at the end how many licenses you have, because this is SAP. For us, it is unlimited license, but if you purchase, as an example, 10 licenses, it should say 10 in parentheses there. So this is indicating how many licenses you have. So I will select this one. Then it will ask me for the version again. As I said, it would be 4.1. And then I can determine how many licenses I need. I may have purchased 10 licenses, but maybe I only need 1 license, so I don't really have to use up all the licenses. Or I can say maybe 2 licenses, out of the 10. After that, just click on Add, and then it will appear down here. So it gives you just a short summary. Is your material number, the license material, the Business Objects Enterprise version would be 4.1, and I need 2 licenses. If you made a mistake, no problem. You can just highlight this here and just remove selected entry. And then, if you say like, oh, I actually needed 3 licenses, not 2, so there's no problem. You can just remove it. But if you made sure that everything is okay, then you click on Continue, and you get to the last step where you actually can submit all your information. It just gives you a little summary of everything you filled out, so you can just make sure that everything is okay. We call the system ID PR9, that the software itself is correct, the amount of licenses, and all you have to do then, it should already have your email address here in, that if you maintain this correctly in your SUSE ID, and all you have to do is confirm the email address. And then what will happen are 2 things. First of all, the system ID will be created. So in this case, we call the system ID PR9. And what also will happen, the license keys will be sent to your email address. Now, I just want to let you know, they are saying it can take up to 72 hours, but this is quite unusual, and I've never seen it really taking that long. Normally, it is done within a few hours, but I just want to let you know it could, it could take a little bit longer, but usually it's done within 2 to 3 hours that you receive the email and that the system ID will be created. And that's pretty much all about how to actually request a license key. And once you have the license key, then you can put it into your software and install your software. The last thing I wanted to show you how to get technical support, because at some point you might probably need some technical assistance. In order to do that, you go to the help and support section here, and right underneath you have an option here towards the end, towards the middle here, called reported product error. Now I'm not a big fan of that phrase, reported product error, because you might not really have a product error, you may just have a technical question. Even if you have a technical question, you would go through the same steps. Just go through a product error, so they might rename this in the future, but right now it's called reported product error. But don't really be confused. If you have any technical issues, just use that option. All you do then, you just click on the report a product error, and you will get a screen that looks similar to this. It gives you on the right-hand side, or the left-hand side, I should say first, systems you have recently used. So if you have created messages before, you can just use one of those systems here just by clicking on it. If you look for any other systems, you can go through the steps right here. So it should give you your customer number, your customer name. Then you can select your product. So in this case, we will select SAP Business Objects. Then you can select your installation number. In this case, it would be this one for Business Objects. And then system ID, if you know your system ID, you can put it in. Otherwise, just leave the star and just click on search, and it shows you all the system IDs that are related to this one. Now, those are the system IDs that were already created. Just remember, we just did the PR9 one. If I would have gone through the steps, would have waited 2 hours, PR9 would have appeared here, but we didn't really go through all the steps. So, but if you had done that, that system ID would also show up here. Once you have the system ID that's relevant to you, you just click on it, and it will get you to step 2. So again, you can see the similar thing as before. You have the different steps. Right now we're on step 2. What they want you to do here is they want you to look for a solution. There might be a solution. The problem you're having might be a solution already out there. So you can put in, works a little bit like a standard search in Google. The more accurate you put in the search terms, the better results you will find. I'll just be pretty vague here, and I just put in license, which is just one keyword. So you can also choose languages and or things like that. It's a pretty standard search field. Once you have your search term, you just click on continue. And now it will look for anything that might be relevant to your systems that includes license. So as I said, I was pretty vague. What you can do here, you get on the right-hand side all the different information that might help you to solve the issue without actually creating the message. And what you can also do on the left-hand side, you can actually narrow down the results. So I got quite a few 750 SAP nodes found here, so that's a lot. Of course, it's also because I only put in license. But what we can do here on the left-hand side, you can actually narrow it down to the application area, or you can narrow it down to the product version. So there is ways to narrow down. So in the best case scenario, you might end up with only like 10 SAP nodes to see if they would help you. Just the term SAP node, for people who do not know, SAP nodes are actually little documents of known problems and their solution. So if somebody had a problem before with Business Objects, some kind of problem, and a lot of people may have had a problem before which you also encounter, if that problem has been identified and has been there has been a solution provided, SAP will write a so-called SAP note. So that SAP note contains the symptoms, what happens, and they find and they give you a solution for it. And especially for products which have been around for months or like longer than that, often there is already a solution for it. But let's say you have looked for all of this and you have not found a solution. One thing before we go to the next, the last step to create a message, if you are not familiar with components, it might be a good idea to write down one of those components, especially a component that happens pretty often, BI, BIB, DAP, anything like that, because components identify in what area the problem lies, and it's relevant once we create the customer message. Some of you might be familiar with components already, but if you do not, it's a good idea maybe to note down one of those components here. So let's say we haven't found anything that helps. Last step to actually create the message. First thing, as I just mentioned, to find a component. Components are relevant for the technical people. The message will go to a person that is an expert in one of those component areas. So it's quite important to have, a component that is accurate. So if you do not really know exactly what component it is, that's why I said maybe to write down the component from the previous page where I give you the SAP node recommendations. So the one there was here BIP, DP as an example. So I could use this one. Let me just see, so you can just click on that and it just fills it in. If you do not know 100% what component you use, don't worry too much. The technical team here, they will look at the message and if they see the component area is not absolutely correct, they will forward it themselves. So it will get to the right place. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Okay. Next thing, just choose your priority, goes from low priority to very high priority, and that identifies how critical the issue is for you. Now, just let you know, very high is very specific, and there are really strict reasoning behind that. You can only use that for imminent go live, so they talk about 5 days before you go live with a product, or if you have a production issue, they talk about, in a sense, a production standstill, or something that is, similar to a production standstill. You can also use high priority, so if those two criteria are not fulfilled, but it's still a quite critical issue, I would choose a high priority. Medium is something that can take sometimes, a week. I see it sometimes also gets answered within a day, but it's something that can take a little bit longer before you get a response. Low priority I would only use if it's really something that can wait a long time. Like sometimes I have a question, if I hear from SAP with a solution in a month, it's fine, but anything that needs to be done quicker, I would definitely use medium, or if it has a, even financial impact, then high, and if it's really, really critical, then even very high. So, well, let's leave it at medium for now. Next thing, they just want you to put in the short text. So short text is just a one-liner, anything that, identifies kind of what's going on. Try to be, as accurate as you can. Then you have the long text, and that's where you can fill in as many information as you can. SAP never complains about having too little information. They only they never complain about having too much information. I apologize. They only complain about having too little information. So put in anything you can, what you think helps to identify the issue. Also steps to reproduce, very important. You might say, like, I have clicked here, I put in that information or that transaction, and then I clicked there, and then I had a crash with the system. Like the more you can reproduce the error, the easier it will be for the technical team to actually see what's going on. Then you have a field here for attachments, so very good for screenshot as an example. Is often like easy to explain. Just here I attached the screenshot. This is exactly what happened. You can just upload this and attach this to the message. On the bottom here is they should be saying your name with your phone number and your email address, and you can say I want to be notified if that message comes back to me or there's an update on my message once I send that to SAP. They will either send you a text message or by email or whatever you choose. You can even, if you want, here with that little pencil symbol, you can actually add more people. So if you say my colleague, also would be good if my colleague would be informed, if there's an update with that message. You can actually add, other colleagues who have an SUSE ID in your company, if that's something you would like to do. Once you have done everything, make sure you send the message. There are two options here, save message, and save message is just, you have started with your message, but you haven't quite finished it, and you want to finish it like later on, so you can save it temporarily and then just keep editing it, but it will not be sent to SAP, and SAP will not work on it until it is sent. So if you're done with everything and you have finished all the information, just please make sure you send the messages. Just click here and it will send the information to SAP and to the technical team. You will also receive a customer number, and with that customer number, actually a message number for that particular message, and once you have that message number, and if you have ever any problems, you can contact the customer interaction center, and we can assist you also with that message. And that's pretty much it for the three main topics. I just want to also let you know that the topics we just covered, the software downloads, the keys and requests, and also the message creation here at the end for technical issues, they all require authorization. If you do not have the authorization to do any of those things, the website will tell you. So it will tell you you do not have the authorization, but it will tell you a person in your company, they call him the super administrator, who can assign you that authorization. So if you try to download the software and you encounter any problems, it will tell you, please contact your colleague so-and-so. They often, or most of the time, they're located in the IT department, and they can assign you that authorization, so if you should need that. Well, and that's pretty much, as I said, it was a brief introduction. Service Marketplace, you could talk about it for hours, but those, I think, especially for you, those are the main things you would need at least to get started here. Hopefully, you found that information useful, and I would like to hand it back to Sean.
Great. Thanks a lot, Renee. So just wanted to close off the meeting. I appreciate everyone's time. I know we went a bit over, but I found the information very valuable. What I wanted to do is just let you know that if you want more information on BI 4.1 or any of the service marketplace information, feel free to reach out to your account team. We'll be more than happy to help you. Also, we do have in place some Q4 incentives for existing BobJ customers. If you want to learn more about any of the Q4 incentives, again, feel free to reach out to your account team. I want to thank the presenters, Ted, Colin, and Renee, for your time, and thank you everyone on the line. Everyone have a great day. Bye now.